It's the Funny Comics Fan Club.
Hello!
Hello.
And welcome to the Funny Comics Fan Club.
What an amazing introduction. What a barrier-busting introduction that was.
I think it was both full of facts and factful at the same time.
Why does everybody, every show ever known,
Yes.
always says hello and welcome to, don't they? Everyone.
We can try something different.
Okay. Goodbye.
And sod off.
Yeah, that's me.
That's good.
Yeah, I like that.
Next year's awards are in the bag.
Yeah. If only we'd won the Best Jingle Award, things would be very
They
different.
would have been very different around here, wouldn't they?
We would have got a new roof put on Funny Comics Towers and everything.
We would have got Funny Comics Towers, Max, as well.
So what are we looking at today, Dr. Mark? Oh, we haven't said who we are.
We haven't said, oh, that's not why we didn't win. That's it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, will you say you are first today, whoever you are?
Okay, I am not Dr. John Dredge. Now, if anyone has not heard us before, that'll mean nothing to them.
That
That'll
makes
be
no sense at all.
very baffling straight away.
Who are you then?
I'm not a doctor,
Oh, I see.
but I am interested in the funny comics of which we speak.
And just to be clear for our listeners, you are in fact John Dredge.
That is my name. And yourself? It's not your name.
It's not my name.
No.
How crazy that? What a podcast that would be. The two John Dredges.
Yeah, well, that would be an interesting way of marketing it.
Not just one John Dredge.
Because we haven't come up with any yet. So
No, we haven't.
that'd be an
Yeah,
interesting
you know.
one. Yeah, we need to talk to Apple Podcasts again, don't we?
Me too. We need to get to that big
After
building.
after they tied us up in their building for several days, they'd had enough of us by then.
They said, no, you must have two John Dredges. No, you must have one John Dredge and one Dr. Mark Hibbett.
So that's who you must be.
It must be who I
It
am.
must be you.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's nice to be
We
congratulated.
got that out of the way.
Thank God for that.
Oh.
Well, so we'll see you next episode.
You'd think we'd be getting better at this.
You would.
Anyway, what are we looking at today, Dr. Mark?
Well, not Dr. John. Today we are looking at Monster Fun comic.
Hey, so this has been a long time in the works, hasn't it? You know, doing this one.
It has indeed, yes. And this is, in fact, they're celebrating a long time in the works. Oh, I just can't stop segueing today.
Yeah,
I'm like Clive Sinclair.
that's an 80s reference, right?
It is, and this is the 70s. This is from 1976, and it's the first anniversary issue.
Happy birthday to Monster Fun.
Birthday to Monster Fun, their first birthday and
Oh.
their only birthday.
Yeah, was it 5th of June 1976? So they've
That's
been going
correct.
for a year, and then
Yeah.
they pretty much packed up straight away after that.
They went for another 21 issues after
Oh,
this.
okay.
Another
Oh, it's
21
still
issues,
a
yeah.
fair way to go.
Indeed. And then it merged with Buster. 'Cause
What? Who did it? Who doesn't?
everything, as we continue to find out, and spoilers for future episodes, there's going to be more.
Buster in the end merges with itself, and that caused an implosion.
That's right, yeah.
That's the end of it.
And thus ended the British comics industry. You're right.
And thus ended the lesson.
And I always thought that was like Wizard and Chips or something, that Monster Fun wasn't a real comic. So the idea this is real is quite mind-blowing.
Oh, I see. I have fond memories of it from 1975, I suppose it would have been. I would have been 5 years old, and I can remember that, getting the first one. Because Monster Fun has a lot of pullouts, or it's got free gifts. It's got a lot of things with it. Like there's the bedtime, bad time book, right? Wow. And for the benefit of the tape, what are you holding up, Mark?
I'm holding up a copy of Bad Time Bedtime Stories by Leo Baxendale, the collected edition, which I'm going to present to John right now so he can enjoy it for himself.
Gosh, that is something. I did not know you had that.
I did. But it's a shame, really, because this issue of Monster Fun comic does not have the Bad Time Bedtime Stories pullout in it. And I've read the Bad Time Bedtime Stories in that book, and they're brilliant.
I bet they
They're
are.
amazing.
So this is all Leo Baxendale himself.
All 100% pure Leo Baxendale madness in there.
Why didn't they just put that as part of Monster Fun comic and not have it as a pullout? Wouldn't have that made the comic better?
I think the idea was, as far as I could understand from reading a couple of things about it, was that they basically said to Leo Baxendale, you can do what you like, we'll just give you your own pullout. So it's not part of the main comic, it's just you, whatever you want to do, you can do it. And that's what he did. But he didn't do it for very long. And I think it was pretty much the last thing he did in commercial comics, because it just completely wore him out.
Is that for you?
And we're back!
It's part 2.
Yes, that was not, as John assumed, my phone going.
What was it, Dr. Mark? You're a doctor, you know these things.
That's what we call a fire alarm going. A fire alarm.
So we had to evacuate Funny Comics Towers.
We did.
All hundreds of staff
Yes.
made a beeline for the door, and it looked quite nice. over it.
It really did. It was beautiful. Yeah.
But yeah, we're back now after being fire alarmed.
Yes.
You're within an inch of our lives.
Yes, you're relieved to hear there was no fire.
Just the alarm.
Just the alarm. Amazingly for a fire alarm going off. That's what happened.
Anyway, yeah, after that commercial break, with no commercials whatsoever, it's back to Monster Fun.
Yes, and we were just saying, so John was just admiring the Bad Time Bedtime Stories book, and I was about to tell him, but then listeners, I stopped what I was about to tell him because I thought I'd save it for you. That it says Monster Fun on the Bad Time Bedtime Stories book, and my guess is that this came out last year or the year before because Rebellion were publishing Monster Fun as a monthly comic for about a year and a half. So I guess that was what it was all about.
Because Monster Fun seems to have sort of stuck in some people's heads as a particular favourite.
Yeah.
Because there's a big analysis of Monster Fun on this blog called, hold on a minute, called...
Funny name for a blog.
Called, hold on a minute. No, it's called Kazoop. And there was a detailed analysis of a lot of these Monster Fun comics on that.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, I got a lot of information from that. So it's not like some of the ones we've had where there's just no information whatsoever.
Yes. Well, there's one coming up in a few episodes, something called Giggle, where it's like...
Giggle.
No information about it.
None, so we'll have to actually read it for a change.
So then we get into it then with our own detailed analysis.
So Monster Fun comic, I remember it because it had lots of things to give away. I remember, I think I got the first ever issue of Monster Fun, and it had something called a plate wobbler as a free gift.
Wobbler. What did that do?
Well, I had to look in the comic to understand and read all the instructions carefully, and it actually wobbled plates.
Okay.
You stick this thing under the plate during lunch, and then you suddenly press this strange, what do you call it? A small sort of satchel of air. Like you used to get squirt flowers.
Yes.
And that had a thing that you could sort of squeeze and all the water would come out. A sack.
Without a K on the end.
So you'd have something like that, and then you could use it and the plate would lift up allegedly.
Gosh.
And it was a riotous fun and a riot of fun and laughter.
It sounds like it, yes. It sounds like it.
Okay, so Monster Fun Comics, 7p only, 1976. Let's get into it. And the first thing that we see on the front cover, it says Pull Out Part 1 Inside. So there's a pull out.
There is.
Yeah.
And it's a Monster Mix-Ups game. And this is possibly the cheapest free gift you could possibly imagine. Because what you do, let's go to the middle page. So let's go.
Yeah, let's have a look at this so-called pull out.
There it is.
It's in full colour.
It's in full colour. We'll put it on the socials. And my understanding is what you do. So this is a 2-page spread, and it's got 3 rows. Basically, the idea is one of these, like they call it the Exquisite Corpse game, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah, that's what it's called. It's weird, isn't it?
It might be called that in your house.
It wasn't called that in my house. But what it is you make a pack of cards. It's got a head, a body, and legs, and you mix them up, and you can play lots of versions of card games with it. But I think what you have to do is get this piece of paper, then using some glue it onto an old cardboard box or cornflakes or something. Isn't that's what you always have to do?
Yeah, but I mean, that would ruin the comic, wouldn't it?
Because you ruin the comic.
You've got these other stories on the other side of this.
What is on the other side? So on one side it's Brainy and his monster maker,
and the other side is the little monsters. So maybe it wouldn't do too much damage. Thinking about
I
it,
think it'd be all right.
Yeah, but yeah, so you can cut these heads, bodies, and tails out, stick them on cardboard, and play all sorts of tedious card games with them.
Tedious card games. Yeah. If there's any children listening to Australia at the moment, I know you've got a lot of time on your hands now because they banned social media for kids in Australia.
Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. So kids going, what can I do? He goes, you can be as bored as we were. Get out the cornflakes boxes and make yourself a tedious card game.
Sounds much better than social media, in my opinion.
It does.
And talking of Australia, you wanted to talk about gums, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Is this Australian?
I think this is set in Australia, yeah. One of the characters keeps calling everyone Blue or Bluey or something.
It does, yes. And then it does say, somewhere in the Australian outback.
So this is set in Australia for no...
So it's set in Australia,
no good reason that I could see. But anyway, there it is.
For those who don't know, Gums is basically a shark that has false teeth.
That is the concept.
That's the concept. Great concept, lasted for years.
Yeah.
But I thought, hang on a minute, the picture here that says Gums is a direct tribute to the poster for Jaws.
Right, yeah.
And Jaws came out in the UK, it came out on Christmas Day, 1975.
Was Gums going before that?
So this is 5th of June, 1976.
So maybe this came out as a result of
I
that.
think this would have come out as a
film.
result of that, because they did this a lot in comics, didn't they? Say what's on telly, what's in films. We'll do that.
The Teeny Sweeney,
The
for example.
Teeny Sweeney is an excellent example.
That was an enormous success.
Huge success. But I looked it up, and Jaws was, I think, an A film.
Was it really? Because it's pretty near the mark for an A film.
It's pretty near the mark now.
Yeah.
Let's not forget this is the 70s,
right?
When people were probably being garroted and chainsawed to death.
I don't know.
On play school.
Maybe because kids were discouraged from watching it. That made it even more exciting to them.
They weren't forbidden from watching it.
No,
they could go and watch it. Yeah,
as long as you have a parent with you.
Yes, or Guardian. Or Guardian.
Yeah, whatever newspaper you read, you can take it with you and read that instead of watching the film.
Indeed, yeah.
I've never actually seen Jaws all the way through.
Oh, yeah, that bit where the scary bit. Do you then go? Wah!
Yeah, I just turned off straight away.
Yeah, that's scary.
But so Gums, you reckon, was in some way a tribute to that film?
I think it's clearly inspired by it. It's one of these things. I mean, and the funny thing is, Gums was inspired by Jaws, and then later on in this comic, there's an advert for Hookjaw. In Action Comic, which is also inspired by Jaws, and he's definitely an A-rated comic, I would say. But if you don't know, Hookjaws is a shark that has a massive harpoon through its face that goes around killing people a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I read things like that. I read things like that at the time. So I would have been 7 years old. And I remember thinking at 7 years old, this is a bit strong, isn't it?
It's a bit strong, isn't it? Yeah.
Am I allowed to read this? I remember thinking. Happy memories of violence and war.
Extreme violence and war.
But Gums, I mean, I don't know. Yet again, a very basic concept that went on for decades.
Yeah, it went on until 1984.
And all it was every week, the shark loses his false teeth and it gets them again at the end.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens here in Australia.
But I thought the shark was stupid. But maybe I'm thinking of the pathetic sharks. Maybe that's where I got confused, because he's not stupid here, is he? He's quite cunning, really.
Yeah, no, he knows what he's doing. For a shark, he's got his wits about him, if not his teeth.
Oh, very good. I like it.
So, what do we reckon?
I quite liked it.
It's okay.
It's all right. It's nice to see it there.
Nothing to write home about, but it was on the cover of Monster Fun.
It was quite a long time, yes.
Unlike this issue, which just has a load of monster mix-ups on the front.
Exactly.
And then there was this little sort of advert for Ginty and Lindy comic, which I noticed. And this is to do with a pull-out.
Right.
And it's a comic for girls. But what I noticed was there's a small amount of text describing this comic. And in about 10 lines, it's got 2 mentions of the Bay City Rollers.
Oh, wow.
That's how popular they were at this point.
And is what drew you to it.
It's what drew me to it, yeah. No mention of the Wombles, but Bay City Rollers were all the rage.
They were indeed.
Moving on, you got X-Ray Specs, which was I remembered it very, very clearly. I think a lot of the time I must have picked up Monster Fun in dentist waiting rooms.
You and your dentist waiting room.
Have I said that before?
You're always in the dentist. I mean, sometimes you're in the doctor's waiting room, but flipping heck.
Well, there was a lot of waiting in the 70s.
There was, clearly.
But yeah, so X-Ray Specs was a fun character. And I used to like the way it was drawn when you'd see the effect of his X-ray specs. I like the way it's drawn.
Mike Lacey's drawing this, isn't it?
But the story is neither here nor there.
Well, I thought the funny thing for me was that I thought when you read it, it's like he's using his X-ray specs underwater. And now for me, one of the key things about water is, generally speaking, it is see-through. So you don't need X-ray specs to look through water. But then after some thought, I reconsidered it, and I noticed there's a panel here where he uses X-ray specs to look through the water, and he sees that the bottom of the sea is absolutely covered in rubbish.
It's a disgrace for 1976.
Yeah, but then you sort of think like, but that's a bit what the sea was like in this. I remember going through the sea. We just so
absolutely
maybe in the 70s you did need X-ray specs to see through all the rubbish and oil slicks.
Yeah. They would have come in handy when I went on holiday to Bournemouth or wherever the hell it was. Yeah, Frinton, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, Frinton. Do make a note of that for people listening along at home. Frinton.
We went in Tintagel in Cornwall, and I do remember just having to splash away all the rubbish that was coming towards us.
Yeah, I remember it very clearly. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, X-Ray Specs is a sort of an immortal character, I think. Once you've seen him, you can't forget him. Although this story, I'm not sure about it. It's like, I suppose the joke is that he's using his X-Ray Specs to look at things miles away, but then he can't see in front of his nose, and he's constantly sort of bashing into other people.
Right, yes.
So that is the joke, and
it's a bad joke.
It was an okay joke, but nothing to write home about, in my view. Okay, now this is an interesting strip. Martha's Monster Makeup.
Indeed.
Note the alliteration there. So this is Ken Reid,
Indeed.
who I really like as an artist, and it's a strip about a girl whose dad was a caretaker at Mallet Horror Film Studios, as opposed to Hammer, right?
Very good. I like it.
And he gave her a jar of makeup that he found while sweeping one of the dressing rooms. Martha soon realized it was a special monster makeup that transformed people's faces, hair, and limbs into something monstrous. But then it wears off after about 5 minutes, so
Right.
it wasn't that much of a bargain in my view.
Probably why it didn't take off in the film industry as well.
Yeah, but this is a great little strip. So you've got Martha, she's talking to flowers because she thinks that it'll make them grow better. Suddenly, this blooming gardener bloke
Yeah.
spears her with a large garden fork.
Stabs her in the bum with a fork, yeah.
It's not a good response
No.
to what she's doing, which is, after all, fairly harmless. So then she takes a guinean and throws a load of
So, she does what?
takes a guinean.
Takes it in side.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yes, good.
And throws some of her makeup onto this lawnmower, and it becomes a monster for about 5 minutes and then wears off again.
Yep.
So, not the effect she desired. But then she throws some of the cream onto a snapdragon plant, and the snapdragon becomes a monster and bites his nose. He steals the cream off her because he thinks it's face cream or nose cream,
Nose cream, yes.
and immediately his nose grows enormously and becomes a monstrous nose that he has to take home in a wheelbarrow. I love the artwork. It's very, very distinctive, Ken Reid. And I also like the sound effects he's put in. Words that I've never seen before and I've never seen since, I think. Squadgalump is one of the sound effects he's written here. And Bloilk is the other.
Loyal is loyal, isn't it?
And
It looks great, doesn't
if
it?
you need to know how to spell them, then simply look on the socials.
That's where we're going now, aren't they?
Yeah, not in Australia, mind you.
No, that's true, actually. Yes, apologies to any under 16-year-olds in Australia.
This is a bit like Face Ache.
It's that's what that was my one and only thing I was going to say. Clearly, Ken Reid loves drawing monsters because Faceache is he's much more famous for Faceache, isn't he?
Yeah.
And that's about a boy who can scrunch his face into monsters.
I mean, Face Ache could have easily been in Monster Fun, but it's a good job it wasn't, because otherwise it would have been far too much like Martha's monster makeup. A good little strip,
Lovely
nevertheless.
strip, yeah.
Did you want to talk about the Action Comic advert? I'm intrigued by the Money Man is shedding pounds again. There's an advert here. It's all happening down at the seaside, and maybe the Money Man will be throwing money in your direction. As a kid, that was pretty much a mind-blowing idea.
I mean, again, it's a mystery man going around seaside resorts giving children money.
Yeah, maybe that wouldn't work so well nowadays.
Maybe not quite as well nowadays.
What was it? Because I think it was the editor of Action Comic, from what I can make out.
I don't think it was the editor.
Wasn't it?
It was a guy who
Somebody
worked there,
from
and they made him go, because the editor of Action Comic would have been obviously smoking cigars in Kingsreach Tower, and too busy.
Well, the editor would have been Pat Mills, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, God, imagine that. That'd be terrifying. Pat Mills coming around giving you money.
Have some money.
Have some money, and by the way, it's a capitalist system.
Here's a fiver. Now we come to another huge story, or 2 pages anyway.
To Donut and Rusty.
I'll be hoping you enjoy this tale.
Oil. The fun gushes forth.
What could this be about?
Because it's about 2 robots, isn't it? The story is Donut is a really snobby, shiny robot who's quite big, and Rusty is a smaller, rubbishy working class robot. And I think there are so many things in this. First of all, it's our old friend class war.
It's the robot class war.
It's the robot class war. It's bringing it into the future age, which is rather wonderful.
Modernisation in terms of class war.
Also, it's obviously R2D2 and C3PO.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that at all.
So Donut is C3PO. He's the very snobby, snippy one who's always putting the other one down. Rusty is R2D2.
Hold on a minute. Star Wars isn't out yet.
Let me just go to my notes here. 1976.
No,
No,
77.
77.
In the UK.
In the UK. Yeah. So, but question to you then, John.
Yes.
Professor John of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars Information was out in 1976, wasn't it?
I don't think it was.
You don't think it
I
was? I don't think it
I
was.
Say no. Interesting idea, but nevertheless, I can't go along with it. I'm afraid. I can't.
That's
go
right.
along with it.
I will.
Call me old-fashioned. I can't go along.
You are old-fashioned.
Okay,
But
that's
you
why
are
I'm doing
correct
this.
here, yeah.
And so are all the listeners.
Well, they're listening to a comic from 1976. Really,
Well, they
like
might be
Brian
looking
Fallon.
at it on the social media.
That's true. We don't know. We don't know.
Again, you're not in Australia, but
But apart from that, correct, amazing observation of mine, which is untrue. It is a forerunner of Road Jaws and Hammerstein as well from 2000 AD, which was the same sort of layout. But I love the fact that it's like it is kind of meant to be in the future. I think.
Is it? No,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not.
If you look at the dad,
Is it?
the dad has sort of like weird shoulder pads, which is a denotation of the future. Also,
Or the 80s,
there are
yeah.
robots, so
And
that's
there
in
are
the
robots.
future.
Oh, I see. That's in the future. Yeah.
And also, their next door neighbour has a chemical bath in his back garden, which I believe people in the future do.
I was going to talk to you about that.
I did think they've got big tellies and there's a record player somewhere, but then
Here.
maybe they're just hip again now. Maybe that's like, in our day and age, you'd have a record player. Maybe it's come back again.
So you think this is set in a futuristic England,
Futuristic England of the future.
not that you'd particularly notice. from
Not that you
this.
particularly notice, apart from that it's got robots in it. Because there's a bit, isn't there, where they go, Rusty goes,
Oh, yeah.
bleep. I know where I can find an old trusty 1976 mousetrap.
I was trying to get my head around that. I couldn't. I was sort of thinking, what's he mean? And now, thanks to your
Insight.
vision
Thank you.
and insight,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for prompting me there. I'm just as confused as I was before.
Say, I don't know.
Yeah. So now I know that this is set somewhere in the future.
Somewhere in
You
the
haven't told me exactly
I
when.
don't know when. I think it's unclear about that, just to keep us guessing, because this probably run a long time.
It kept
We
me
don't
guessing.
necessarily.
Just because I was going to ask you about that, because the blooming robot, he goes flying over the fence at
Yeah.
one point and splashes into a chemical bath
Yes.
that a scientist has in his garden.
Yes.
I was definitely going to bring that up at some point.
Well, in the future,
I will bring it up.
it's future
Not
now
now.
if you want to, but
Well, I could do it now. I mean, it seems like a good time as any.
yeah, I think so. Have a go, see what happens.
Yeah, so that's a very interesting point. I wonder, you don't know who drew this. I mean, we could ask them.
Trevor Metcalf.
Is he still with us?
He
I'm
might
not
still
sure.
be with us. Trevor Metcalf.
Let's see if we can ask
Sweet
him.
Tooth and Birdman Chicken and all this sort of
He
thing.
might be listening. You never know. So, Trevor, what the hell?
What the heck's going
What's going on here, mate?
Because the only other thing I thought about, because yes, the chemical bath, that's unusual. But
Yeah.
then Rusty the robot, he's like, his head appears to be a tin can that somebody's opened, and he's wafting around with this really sharp tin can lid. So again, obviously, these people who like the retro fun of televisions and record players also like the retro fun of those really nasty old can openers. Not yeah. So do you remember when they brought in like the turny ones? And
Yeah.
before that, you thought you had to stab a can and go and just rip it apart with your bare hands.
Yeah, that was in the 50s.
Well, in the Peterborough, it was that last
In the Peterborough area, you were a lot more advanced, I know.
Maybe that's where they were going.
People might not have said that at the time, but
No, they
you
certainly
were.
didn't. They certainly didn't.
So anyway, we haven't cleared that up. But
all
then
right.
we've had a look at it, and we've done our best in the
Thanks for
circumstances.
that due diligence. Shall we move on?
Yeah. As I say, if anyone at home knows exactly when Donut and Rusty was set, do let us know. Mark, you wanted to talk about the little monsters. For God's sake, why?
I just found it was quite interesting. It's one of these. Well, it's got one of my. Now that we've established that class war is a definite thing in these comics.
You've established. Yeah, no, we have.
Yes, we have. I think we have. I think we have.
Yeah, class warfare is definitely on the cards.
I'm always on the lookout for other stuff. And one thing I've noticed, and I keep noticing now, is people who make these comics do not understand how balloons work at all.
And you've been looking out for that.
I'm constantly on the lookout for this
Yeah.
because I think they're gonna. Because it was a perpetual disappointment in my childhood that they go, we're going to get some balloons, and I'd always think, oh, amazing, a balloon that'll be on a piece of string and it'll float in the air, and it never did because you blow it up, and science fact, the air that comes out of your lungs is not lighter than air. It is the same, or if anything, heavier than air, and especially if it's got a balloon around it. That's not going to work. That's why you have a helium balloon, which helium is lighter than air, and that's why they float. But people keep blowing things up. Like here, they go to the garage and get the air that you put in tyres. They pump that into a barrage balloon. I don't know if we need to bother the listeners with how they've got a barrage balloon, but they have got a barrage balloon.
Is this set in 1976? Can I just ask that?
This is set in 1976
Okay.
because
Just checking.
it's World War II. So they go to a World War II surplus shop.
So what does that mean? Is it set just after World War II?
Well, I think there were definitely armies. I remember going in the 80s, going to an army surplus store to
Right.
buy a big jacket to go to Indie Geeks. That's what that was.
Yeah.
But this is called World War II surplus.
Yeah.
So it's like going, well, surely either that shop must have had a massive stockroom to have lasted, how long is it? 30 years now, since the end of World War II. But what they've got in the surplus is a barrage balloon, which the little monsters, who are basically the Bash Street Kids, but with horns on their heads, they fill it with air from a tyre thing, which does not include helium air, otherwise cars would float off, and they fill it. So I just find it frustrating.
Yeah, I quite like the way they spell things out. I mean, at least a lot of the storylines in Monster Fun are fairly clear. You sort of know the beginning, middle, and end. You know, they're fairly clear.
Yes.
And here we certainly know that we're in an airfield because there's a big sign saying "Open Day at this airfield."
Airfield. Gotcha.
So we know exactly where we are. There's no problem there, no confusion whatsoever.
That's true.
Well, there was a bit, but not.
And then some men who appear to be in uniform say, "Here come the little monsters. Switch on the wind tunnel."
So they don't like them.
And there's a thing that says wind tunnel.
So
Clearly
again, we
labelled
know
there's no
it's
problem.
a wind tunnel. We know we're in an airfield. It's just a shame that the story doesn't really stand up to scrutiny.
Well, it's ruined with the whole air business. That's my feeling on the matter.
I mean, the punchline, if you can call it that, and I don't think you can, but the barrage balloons have been turned into some sort of elephant.
I think it's an elephant.
It's flying over the airfield.
Yes.
All sorts of rigmaroles going on. All sorts of higgledy-pigglediness is happening
Also,
here.
and the
Lots of
punchline,
puns. Lots of puns.
and the great punchline is saying, "Oh no, the little monsters have done it again."
Thank you, Sid Burgon.
Thank you,
who,
Sid Burgon.
who drew this.
It's a very great Sid Burgon. I mean, Sid Burgon's brilliant. He's lots of great stuff he's done. But
Good old Sid. Then we come to our dear friend Terry Bays.
good old Uncle Terry.
He's written so many biographies that they've sold huge amounts over the years. And I mean, I do like his art. I have to admit, I like his art. It's very distinctive. You know who it is. And despite that, I read this one. It's called Dracula's Daughter of Dracula.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite well written, actually.
I mean, I think once you get used to Terry Babe stuff, and Terry and his wife Sheila as well, or Shyla, however you say, and
Maybe they knew a vampire.
well, this is it, because that's basically when you read his book, as I have done,
I've done that as well.
we are the people who've read his book.
Not many people can say that.
Not many people can say that. And the way he gives you a real insight, doesn't he? It's like, here's how I make my comics. You get ready for this. What happens is, me and the wife go out for a walk. One of us sees a thing, and then we make a comic about it.
Yeah,
That's
so-
basically it.
So at some point they must have seen a vampire.
Yeah.
I thought that'd make a good idea for a comic strip. Sadly,
But
but it did. I mean, Dracula is a good character. We like it, but it's pretty violent for a little kids comic. Isn't
well,
it?
it's because she is a vampire.
She bites a friend's hand at
Yeah.
one point, right through their hand, and then smashes down in a swimming pool, and her teeth come out. And then there's a really nice callback at the end where Gums makes a surprise guest star appearance
He does.
and says, "Now you know what I have to suffer." So I like this. Well done, Terry Bates.
I really like it. And well done, Sheila. Because it was her idea, because originally it was going to be Dracula Lad. And she said, let's make it about a girl.
Is that right?
That's true. It's in the book.
You and your balloons.
But what I like about it is that, like, it's a violent premise, isn't it? It's like, yes, vampires do kill people. She is a vampire.
Yeah.
She does try to bite. But I apparently had the rule that you would never see her fangs actually piercing flesh. So I think...
Well, hold on a sec. That's what's happening here.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's...
For the benefit of the tape, I'm pointing to the picture where flesh is in fact pierced.
But it's on the hand, isn't it? So they're not...
Oh, no, what's happening? You're making your own rules up.
She's not severing an artery or anything.
You're making it all up as you go along, aren't you?
I'm prepared. Once again, my handsome insight has proven incorrect.
Well, let's see. I mean, there's a very good drawing of a fence here. Just pointing that out.
That is a good drawing of a
apart
fence.
from- I think we can ponder on that at some other point. Okay. Now this thing, right? Terror TV.
Gosh.
The telly fiends put on a quiz show. It's the answer to all our problems. That's what it says.
That's what he says.
So Terror TV, I would have loved this as a kid. It's a send-up of a quiz show, and it's called Monster Mind.
Because they do a different TV show in every episode, don't
Yeah,
they?
so they parody popular television shows at the time. One I looked into, I thought sounded really funny. They did a parody called That Was Your Life,
Okay.
as opposed to This Is Your Life. Do you get it? But so they're doing a quiz show here, Monster Mind. It's hosted by a skeleton called something like Magnus Murkysum or something like that. All these contestants are put through their paces, and if they get the question wrong, they either fall down a chute into some awful cellar, or they're fired through the ceiling, or they're clapped in irons and all this sort of thing. It's pretty scary, and there's some strange things in it. Like he says, Only those who answer a special test question correctly will go through to the final of Monster Mind, our battle of wits designed to pick out not Britain's,
Brightons.
Britain's brightest brain.
Maybe they had local heats.
Yeah, you say that 3 times quickly. You can't.
That 3 times quickly. I just did.
You can. And then in the end, he adds Haragle. I've never seen that word before in my life, so never seen it.
Neither have I.
So I looked it up, not in the dictionary. So well done, Monster Fun, for introducing such a word.
But it's macabre, isn't it? I mean, it's weird, and it's
It's gruesome.
Yeah, it is gruesome because at the end, the idea is they're going to take somebody's brain out.
They're going to pick his brain out.
Yeah,
and there are some special surgeons that are going to do it. But yeah. I mean, you don't see that. He runs off through a wall to escape. I had a look at some other issues of Monster Fun, and earlier on, Terror TV was in colour, full colour, and it looked excellent. It looked absolutely brilliant. I think in black and white, it's hard to work out what's going on again. The panels, the pictures are all very sort of busy.
They are,
which is great if it's different colours, but black and white, you lose a lot of the detail.
Well, it's drawn by Ian Knox, isn't it? I just noticed he signed it. There's quite a few strips that have been signed in this one as well. Yeah. And he goes on to do Pongo Snodgrass, doesn't he?
Which is an absolutely immortal creation. Yeah. So I liked this, but it was a little bit too busy for my sort of taste.
But I found it too frightening for my tender taste.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's very scary.
It's this quiz show where lots of ghastly things happen, but you wonder why they bothered to go to the auditions to be a contestant in the first place, don't you? Really? Yeah. Unless they were forced into doing it.
Could be,
possible, but not knowing Ian Knox, we can't really ask him at this point. Then there's a really pathetic adventure strip here called March of the Mighty Ones. I mean, what is this all about?
So what happens in this is at the start of it, there are some robot dinosaurs. Now,
is that set in the future?
No, it's not. I mean, personally, I hear robot dinosaurs. I think sign me up. That's what I'm here for. Robot dinosaurs. Any time of the day or week, I'm there.
You're looking forward to that.
But again, it's this thing of it goes. Oh, they're making a film, so they've got some robot dinosaurs. It's like going, well,
is that the story?
That's what happened at the start. But then what happens is the robot dinosaurs get loose and rampage around the country somehow. It doesn't make.
Let me read what they put.
Oh, yeah, please do.
A horde of lifelike prehistoric monsters built for use in films. You were right there.
I have also read it. You see, that's how I know.
Had run amok.
Yes,
I think you used that very word.
I did.
I read it. When lightning struck the computer which controlled them.
Okay.
Just pause there so you can absorb that information. Trying to destroy the beasts, the inventor's children, John and Jenny Bird, were now trapped in a private maze by a giant reptile called a Euparkeria.
A Euparkeria.
I mean, is that because they hang around a park area? I mean, why are they called that?
Yeah, they are in a park area.
So this looks very serious and dramatic. Oh, this is serious.
Drawn by Mike White, I believe. He did lots of feature shocks in 2000, lots of action stories.
And they're in a maze, and this huge dinosaur robot thing grabs poor old John and roars very loudly. But don't worry. Don't worry, because the small dog bites the dinosaur on the leg and he's victorious.
The small dog bites the dinosaur and the dinosaur says, "Rake!" in pain. And he's like, no, it's a robot dinosaur.
Oh, yeah. So what they do, they just go bleep, I suppose.
That's probably what they would do in any sensible world. Yes, they go bleep. That didn't, well, or indeed they will just go, I haven't noticed that because I'm a robot.
Or they might just say malfunction.
They might say malfunction. Please reboot this electronic dinosaur.
Yeah, it does not compute.
Yeah, updates required.
But then in case you've missed that, they point it out again a bit later on. And he says something like, Lonely, that's the name of the dog.
Oh,
Lonely.
Dog's called Lonely.
What stupid name.
That's a rubbish name for a dog.
This bloke can't come up with good names. What's a Euparkeria? I don't know. And a blooming Lonely the dog here. Anyway, Lonely bit the monster's leg. The sudden shock made it toss you away like a rag doll. We can see that over here.
We've
seen that. You're explaining things after the event.
And I think, Jenny, if you're going to explain things, explain how the robot acted as if it was in pain. Explain that, and I'll respect you.
Yeah.
Just recounting what's occurred in full view of the reader. No.
And then at the end, they say, oh, no, what do we do now? And then John, he's going to go, I'm going to attack this robot dinosaur. And Jenny says, how are you going to do that? He said, because I've got a mallet. I've got a mallet here now. So
Has he got a mallet?
there it is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
It's not a particularly large mallet,
No,
but it's better than nothing.
I'm going to challenge it to a game of croquet. That will show it. Because as we know, that is the fatal weakness of all dinosaurs.
Robot dinosaurs cannot stand croquet.
That's because I think when the meteor hit the Earth, it was actually going through a massive croquet hoop, and that's how it all ended.
It's obvious.
It's
obvious.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's more of that exciting story in next week's issue.
I look forward to that. I would look forward to it.
Now, okay, so we've missed the overriding concept of Monster Fun.
Have we missed it?
Who is the editor of this? Let me tell you.
Oh, please do.
It's Frankie Stein.
Frankie Stein.
He is the editor of Monster Fun. Is he in this comic?
He's not in this comic.
No, he's not. No. So where is he?
Not in this comic.
He's just editing it and answering some of these, let's face it, fairly bland letters.
They are fairly bland
from readers.
Yeah.
But there's a really nice little feature called Master Ugly Mug and Miss Funny Face, the face pulling contest, where you have to send in people pulling funny faces, or indeed your very own funny face.
Yes.
I was like that. I remember that as a kid. And there's a little advert for 15 Christmas GB stamps here.
Oh.
This came out in June, so they're obviously thinking ahead there.
That is thinking ahead.
but this is the only real mention of Frankie Stein in the whole comic. There are other issues where Frankie Stein does appear more often.
Yeah.
But he was in Whoopi at the same time, and I suppose they thought that was
over-egging at the same time.
I think so.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
So essentially, they gave him his own comic. I suppose that was the idea of Monster Fun.
I believe it's what we would call nowadays a side hustle.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah. Thank you working in Whoopi comic. That's good. And then on a Friday night, I say, yeah, I've just got to go answer some letters.
Yeah.
Just bare money.
But the letters page is not of enormous interest. And then this Tom Thumbscrew thing.
Yeah.
I didn't like this bit, comic strip at all. The Torturer's Apprentice.
Yeah. So
what's all this about?
And it doesn't make any... I mean, none of this
I don't understand.
It makes no sense. So he's torturing somebody, and he says, I'm just extracting a confession. So the king gets upset because the torture is disturbing him. The king doesn't say, yeah, maybe stop torturing people. He says, do it quietly. So Tom Thumbscrew, the torturer's apprentice... I mean,
that's quite funny. I understand that bit. That's quite funny. But then the next bit, he starts deliberately trying to wind the king up.
Yeah.
With his musical...
Why is he doing it?
His musical torturing.
He is. So he gets a band into the torture chamber to play some loud rock and roll music, which goes howl, wail and toot.
So that is a torturous thing for many people.
But then I like the fact that the king comes in and goes, sharp! That's it. That's what he said. Sharp!
But then Tom Thumbscrew, he decides to gag one of the prisoners.
Yeah.
Then he prods him with a sword.
Yeah.
And then he says the only trouble with this is we can't hear any secrets they may want to tell us because we've gagged them.
Yes.
So the king is furious.
He's absolutely... Grrr, he shouts, you idiot!
I mean, the sort of language they use
is dreadful.
And,
very unkingly, really.
And then this upsets, is it the Queen here? She drops the flowers.
She does.
Begonias all over the place here. And then they chase each other around, and Tom Thumbscrew says, ho, ho, I thought that would make a good gag. And he's got the gag that he tied around the prisoner's mouth there. But I can't understand his motivation here.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I completely agree with you.
And why is he winding the king up?
I know.
There's
exactly
no reason.
And he doesn't say it. And when he goes, I know that'll make a good gag. It's like, Tom Thumbscrew, you haven't mentioned that at any point earlier in the comic. Also, the Queen has not appeared earlier.
No, not at all.
We've wasted a panel or two with the king going on to have a kip. Where's the Queen? Where's the establishing? It's shoddy.
Maybe this makes sense if you followed it from the beginning, which thankfully we have not.
Thankfully we have not, but yeah.
But Tom Thumbscrew. Thumbs down for that. Oh dear. I'm going to have a lie down after that thought. Okay, now we come to this one. We like this one, don't we?
We do like Creature, Teacher.
This tale snaps up the laughs. 3X pose a problem for Teach. So this is, as you might expect, a teacher that is also a creature.
Yes.
As is given away by the title of the strip. So it's this monster who's a teacher, which I thought was a great idea.
It's a brilliant idea. And also, but the fact that it's a proper monster, isn't it? It's not like somebody who's a bit weird. It's like, what the heck is it?
It's a thing with like huge eye in the middle of his head and all sorts of strange tentacles. And it's got
oils on it, hasn't it?
But it's wearing a teacher's gown. And so kids would have absolutely loved this, I'm sure.
But I love the fact that the teacher's gown barely covers the sheer monstrosity of it, the horror of this thing.
I would have liked to have seen this one in colour.
It would be green, wouldn't it? I think we're just
got to be
green.
green. It is green, there's no doubt about it. But there's some good gags in this at last. We're coming to the end of this thing now, and there's some really good gags in this. Because the idea of this strip is that nobody wants to take a picture of the third year because they're just like they're misbehaving all over the place with people. Look at last year's photograph. The photographer was so terrified he took it from a distance of over 500 yards away. So that's great. So then you see the glass in the distance.
Yeah.
They're barely visible. And then this is what happened when 3X scattered marbles all over the floor and the photographer slipped up on them. And there you see a nice photograph of the sky, essentially. But then Creature Teacher decides to take them on. All sorts of silly escapades happen. He gets really angry, and then he turns into this huge, ghastly apparition of a monster. And he's so scary that Class 3X react in horror, and they're scared stiff. Therefore, he can take the photograph.
Yeah.
They're not moving. So it's just a really nicely done story.
It's really nice. I just love the fact that the monster is so weird, and it's like some sort of creature from
Doctor Who.
Or Lovecraftian, I was going to go for, but yeah, it's just...
Or the Tomorrow People or something.
But I think it's not like those ones, because it doesn't look like somebody in a costume. It's like, because when the monster wanders around, it's got this sort of smoke or bubbles coming out the bottom of it, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And it's not in human shape, and it's got this huge long leg, and then when it emerges, it's got all these limbs and eyes and mouth, and it's terrifying. It's really quite a thing.
So, this would definitely have appealed to kids in 1976. And I think even now, if they did that, it would be a big hit. And it's got all sorts of cool little details, like the headmaster of the school has got some nerve pills in his pocket.
Yes.
But it's a nice strip to end on, I think. A high point of the comic. And then there's some sort of bizarre advert for a mini ship.
Yeah, well, it's not that. So the back page is a model by Hornby.
We like them.
Fair enough. This is all good. Oh, how wholesome! It's a ship. It's an advert for a model of the Bismarck you can build, in which you pretend to be the Nazis. The British have crippled your engines, shelled your control tower, and shot your steering to pieces. How will you cope?
So it's a nice little pastime. This.
Yeah, and it's like there's explosions, there's massive guns, which again are operated by Nazis.
Yeah, have fun with the Nazis. That's what they say.
With the Nazis, yeah. You can fight other battles too. The USS Missouri, the Yamato. So you can be all you can be enemies. You can be. I suppose the idea is one will make a tableau, and you go, well, I'm going to build lots of battleships from lots of different countries.
Yeah,
and then they can all fight each other, and then loads of lives will be lost at sea. Well, again, such fun for all the family, but
wacky James.
It was a different time. I think that's what we can say. It was a different time.
It was 1976 when robots ruled the earth.
When robots were about to rule the earth.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, call me old-fashioned, but you're right.
I've already called you old-fashioned, Joe. I'm just not going to do it again.
So, what did we think of Monster Fun Comic 7p only?
I really liked it. I did. It wasn't hugely funny, but it was. It
had substance to it.
It takes a theme, doesn't it? Goes the theme.
I like the overriding theme. There's an overriding theme to it.
It runs with it. It actually does it.
It's a cool concept for kids, and even though we didn't particularly enjoy the monster mix-up game, I think generally speaking, it's a thumbs up from us.
It is, and it's got lots of classic characters, hasn't it? You've got Gums is a classic one, X-Ray Specs is one. I know Frankenstein.
There's lots to read in it.
It's a good. So I think all that remains then. So what we've had recently, we've had Film Fun.
Yeah, which was a lot about film and very little fun, as far as I remember.
We've had Monster Fun.
That was more fun than film fun.
It was more fun than film fun.
How much fun can one have?
Well, let's find out, because we've had film fun, we've had monster fun. There's only one kind of fun left, as you'll be aware, and that is school fun.
It's the only kind left, you're right.
And there we go. That's the issue of school fun that we're looking at next time.
Well, I don't remember this at all, so I will ponder on this later on. Oh, look at all that.
Oh, look at all that. Oh, intriguing.
That does look like a lot of fun.
And a lot of school, I think you'll find as well.
2 for the price of 1, yeah.
Indeed.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane, ladies and gentlemen.
We hope you've had a monstrous amount of fun.
And if not, we can't do much about it at this point.
Really.
So thank you for listening, and until next time, it's good night from me.
And it's hello from him. No,
We've got
to work this out. Yeah.